Welcome, come on in to part 3 of a conversation about expectations. Now, there is one expectation that ranks higher amongst all other expectations and that does deserve some concentration. So we're going to get to that shortly. In the meantime, if you're watching my video, thank you so much. I'd appreciate it if you would just like the video right now. It really help me out in terms of getting numbers and the way YouTube's algorithm works. Like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already watched the other videos, I would check those out. I'll leave them in the description below. In this video, we're going to do a quick recap, talk about that big expectation. I'm going to tell you a story, which is going to include a little cultural analysis. And we're going to tie this all together with a nice little bow. A nice little ribbon and send you on your way to live a wonderful, glorious life. So, to recap a little bit, this all started because of the issue that I had of judging myself based on how I saw other people viewing me. And we got to the bottom of that and found some great answers to those problems. In the second video, we talked about really what constitutes success and failure and how we define that. Once again, we got to a really good place and with that video. And that leaves us to where we are now. We all have parents that want the best for us. They want us to contribute to society. They want us to be successful. You know, and their expectation for us in our life has a big impact on what we do. And so I think it's important to realize that they're only speaking from the vault of knowledge that they have. And listen, if you want to be like your parents are at their age, doing what they're doing with the quality of life they have, then by all means listen to their advice. But if you want something different, right, then I would say we're going to have to let go of the need of validation from our parents. And this can be challenging. This can be challenging because it can cause issues, can cause tension. And you know, in my undergrad, I got a minor in biblical studies, and so I studied a little bit of the Bible. And I think the example that Jesus sets in terms of this is really worth mentioning. And he says to his disciples in the Gospels, in the account of Matthew, he says, if you're not willing to forsake your father, your mother, and your brother, you're not worthy to be my disciple. Okay? Jesus' life and his mission and his ministry was based on the kingdom of God. That was his central message, the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God. And I would say that in my studies, one of the pillars of that is freedom. Okay? Your parents want you to be a professional, most likely have a professional career, okay? Working a job with a professional career where you spend 50 hours a week for 50 weeks a year for 50 years of your life is not freedom. It's not freedom. In my opinion, humble opinion, it's indentured servitude. You know, and you're working for someone else's dream, not even yours. If you're going to a job where you can't wear what you want, say what you want, and leave when you want, take a nap when you want, you're not free. This really has to do with more of a broad scope, and this is where we're going to talk a little bit about the cultural analysis. This is best summed up in a story called, I'm putting my spin on it, called The Filipino Farmer. And there's a businessman, American businessman in the Philippines who goes to visit on vacation. He's an entrepreneur. And he sees a farmer walking down a hill with a big harvest of vegetables and things from his garden. And he goes, wow, that's impressive. How long did it take you to harvest all that? And he says, oh, not long at all. He says, wow, that's awesome. He says, and what are you gonna do now? He's like, oh well, or he says no. He says, why don't you spend more time in the field, gathering more in your garden? And he says, well, because I have enough to feed my family. Okay. And of course, his entrepreneur mind is going, he goes, can I share something with you that will make you successful? He says, sure, go ahead. He says, what you need to do is you need to spend all day in the field harvesting your vegetables and your items. He says, well, why would I spend all day? He says, my days are busy. I'm filled with, when I go home, I'm going to go take a nap with my wife, play with my kids. He says, in the evening time, I go to town with my buddies, play music, play guitar, and I jam out. He says, American businessman says, just hear me out, okay? He says, spend all your time gathering all your veggies, all of your surplus, sell it at the store, at the market. Once time goes on, you build enough money to hire people to do it for you. All the undeveloped land that you have, you turn those into farms as well. You keep reinvesting your money into your business, and you buy the whole island, and you set up a distribution company, and eventually you can move to the mainland. You can have your headquarters in Manila. You can buy up multiple islands, all farming. You can be the CEO. You can make millions. He says, how long will this take me? He says, maybe 15, 20 years. He says, and then what would I do? He says, well, you go get up in the morning, pick some veggies with your family, for your family, go take a nap with your wife, play with your kids. In the evening time, you go back and you jam and you play music with your buddies, you have a few drinks. You could be retired. He says, isn't that what I do now? I think the story is a great representation of kind of how our culture works, which makes no sense. That we have to go and work and do all this stuff to attain this success in our career and all this mess. And in video 2, we talked about reconstituting our desires, aligning them with the divine inside to reconstitute our values as well, okay? And so I think after having done that, we know that freedom is imperative, because we want to add value to people's lives. We want to let our value add value to people's lives, okay? So I think the answer to the problem is you need to retire. I need to retire ASAP. Now that sounds nuts. I'm telling you, retire right now. Yes, if you can, do it right now. Now let me explain to you a little bit about what retiring means. There's a brilliant gentleman, his name is Naval Ravikant, and I'm going to give you some quotes and things that he talks about in his retirement. He has a podcast that's great as well. I would suggest checking it out. It's a kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, but he says this: retirement is when you stop sacrificing today for some imaginary tomorrow. And what you want is freedom, and freedom is retirement. Now, here's how you can retire. Hear him out here. These are quotes from Naval. He says, drive your burn rate down to 0. Essentially become a monk. Okay? Number 2 is find what you love to do and do that. That becomes play for you. And it will make you enough money to cover your burn rate. Okay? It's another idea, right? The third thing is save enough money up and keep your burn rate low under your passive income. So, we all want freedom. We all want to live the life that we want to live, I want to travel. I want to do things I've never done, go places I've never gone, experience the world, you know what I mean? I want to live a happy life. I want to live a fulfilled life, you know? And that's where I get to choose what success means. And so that's what I'm saying that we should do. I'm not telling you to go quit your job tomorrow. I'm saying we need to make a plan, right? We need to make a plan moving forward so that we can live the life that we want to live, that we can attain our definition of success in our lives. And so now it's time to ride. Hop up in the boat, and we might just even fly. Some freestyle attitude for you to live your life. So go on the entrepreneurial dream and don't think twice. But you might have to learn to sacrifice. You might have to learn to do something nice. You might have to learn to create a dream out of nothing. It's the alchemy of being. It's the way of even seeing. It's when you open up your third eye. It's when you become alive. It's when you hit the road that's a digital nomad. Nobody can get mad because you doing what makes you happy and glad. All right, here we go. Here we go. Time to fly, hop in the boat, and we ride. You know, we will glide, live by our values, and always choose to constitute our lives by the things that really make sense and the things that really lie between the things that we need to be the people that we know that the world needs to rise up. Rise up. Freestyle for your life. I said rise up now. Rise up now. Just a freestyle for your life. Yo, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being on this journey with me, my YouTube journey. If you made it to the end of this video, man, I thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out to watch this video. My YouTube channel right now is a revolutionary mindset where we believe to change ourselves is to change the world. To change the world is to change yourself. Grace, blessings, peace, and love.